All right, guys, I'm back with a new show. This is Mike Wahle, I'm the host of Block Party. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. Check out our Process to Perform channel on YouTube. And this week, we are maybe this show, but definitely the next show is going to be with Andy Herman's channel over on the Pack a Day podcast. So go check it out there if you're a fan of that particular channel. Today, we're going to talk about this Browns Packers game. Obviously, tough loss, the way to lose at the end, but I really just want to focus on the offense, particularly the offensive line. We got a ton of questions coming in about what's going on there. How many different players have to play in different positions, how that all kind of plays into it. So we're going to go into some of the structural stuff, and then we're going to go into some of the technical stuff. There's everything that has to do with the offense is on this tape. There's about 30 minutes of it. Like I said before, I'm trying to keep this part of it short. I want to get right into the tape, enjoy it for you guys. Hope you enjoy this. Again, leave questions, comment, rate, review, all that stuff, and enjoy the tape. Check these out. There's a couple plays here just on offense. Defensive play, honestly, they played so well. We can go for the highlights, but I think from a fan perspective, you're more interested in seeing the kind of what's going wrong with our offense. Why can we only sort of 10 points against what is, to be fair, a really good Cleveland Browns defense. So this is the second play of the game, and this kind of just sums it up for me as far as, why are you struggling? First of all, let's go back. Look at the route combinations. So we got the flat, little stick on the bottom. Our tight end's banging out. Got a deep curl, and then we're going to have Josh Jacobs on the reach. There's really nobody open, and why is nobody open? And this is something I just want to highlight because for me, this has been not only with the Green Bay Packers, but with everybody in the league. I guess I just don't understand why we're doing this. We've moved Elgton Jenkins to center, and what's happening now is as Jordan Love decides to snap this football, he's going to lift his leg up, and we've got both tackles in here at different points during the game are actually looking at the ball. He's not looking at it. Jordan's not looking at it now, but I think when Belton comes in, Belton will be looking at it as well. So you've effectively got at least two, but sometimes three players that really aren't seeing the man that they're supposed to block before the snap. And with Jenkins in particular, this guy, you can see by the stance, like this foot's back, he's going here. And we're talking about Jenkins has no idea. And that just makes this, like for me, it's unconscionable as an offensive lineman that we would allow this to happen. Now, what are the solutions? The solutions are that he raises his head up and you count 1001, 1002, whatever it is, and then everybody goes on timing. The solution is that the guard looks back and taps him on the shoulder, it flashes a hand, and then he goes a quick up, down, and then goes so everything's on time. And at the very least, it's like, are you going to get an advantage on the road with a loud crowd against the defensive line? No, you're not going to get an advantage, but do you have to constantly be at a disadvantage? And I just think the answer is no. I don't understand why any team would do this, except for the fact they've determined it's the easiest way to do it, and they're not interested in spending a lot of practice time. But you just see what happens here. I guess first off, Jenkins is back. Banks is barely out of his stance by now. And so he's late, or we've got a situation with Rasheed Walker, which is more likely that he's kind of oversetting. Now there's two outside on that. You can't see over on our right, the offense is left. There's two outside. So it looks like they should be kicking for both. And either Banks isn't or Rasheed's oversetting. But really, you look at the problem in the middle, and this is where it starts. Our center, who's a great football player, he's snapping and stepping. Now he sees the guy. He's already behind. So 300-pound body moving this direction, 280-pound body or 300-pound body moving that direction. Something's got to give. And what gives ultimately is our leverage. So Sean Ryan, not that he gets picked, he gets beat inside clean, but this is a situation where he probably is oversetting. They don't even have to pick him, but it's really just because Jenkins gets beat so bad, and it's not his. look, it's not his fault. When I say it's not his fault, it's because that situation, like you're set up to fail. All right, we got 1st and 10 here. We got two backs in the backfield. And I just wanted to show, I mean, this is a damn matrix play. And this is where you're just dealing with, there's athletes and there's athletes. There's levels to this sport. And this guy right here, man, he's just absolutely something different. He does what I would only describe as a matrix move here and comes underneath. Right here, just comes underneath. And you look at Tucker Kraft's not really, like, he's not looking forward to this. Now, I know that I don't know if the league has signaled anything with regards to cutting after, I think the Lions, they were saying it last night that Aiden Hutchinson and the Lions were complaining about the amount of cuts that the Packers threw on Aiden. But he just goes through, tries to hit shoulder to shoulder with one of the best defensive players in the league, and it just, tight ends had a rough day. A lot of people against this D line and box had a rough day. We're just looking from who's winning their physical battles here. They crisscross on Jenkins and backs up with Rashid. Banks does a decent enough job. Obviously, you like to get your hat across, but it's tough. Now 3rd and 3 happens fast. We go for the speed out early and often with the speed out. Now I wanted to show this play to show you one specific thing because, you got to celebrate football and some of the violence. Watch that. This is freaking awesome. I mean, he just ended that dude's day. That was fun. Let's watch it from this. I don't have that angle. 3rd and 2. A lot of third down on this tape, guys. I bring this play in for a very specific purpose. I'm going to show you from this end because this is another phenomenal deal. I'll go back. Look at this. That is Malik Heath motioning in to block Myles Garrett. This is like my favorite play to watch because you got to imagine, we were talking about it on Andy Herman's show. He's walking in, they hear the play call. He's like, oh, man, I wonder who's going to be out there. I hope it's not 95. 95's got to be, by the looks of it, he's almost like surprised. Like, you did what? And look at the little extra right here. This is why, hey, we got a ride or die right here, fellas. We got a ride or die right here. Just give him a little extra stiff arm at the end. Just let him know who's boss. Love it. All right, another 3rd and 3. Got a 3-by-1 with the tight end attached. And I love these plays. And sometimes you wonder when they go single high and you can match up against Romeo Doubs, Romeo Doubs is one of the better, just pure route runners that you're going to find in the National Football League, especially on these releases. I just think he's really, really competent and capable. And so they can run a little RPO out here. I guess we can call it an RPO. Really, we're just looking, is there a throwing lane or not? And the way we lined up with 9 guys at the line of scrimmage with the Cleveland Browns, we're just going to take our shot on the quick slant here. Dobbs does a great job. I just love these plays, and I just want everyone to appreciate, because this is a real kind of art on the bottom of the screen here. I'm going to try to remove this little doodad here, but he just kind of squiggle, goes outside leverage and then pops back in fast. And there's a bunch of different ways you're supposed to run these slants, but I love the way he sets this up here. Bang, open, takes a little bit flatter to stay out of the safety's path. Phenomenal job, first down. All right, 2nd and 8. We got a 2nd and 8 play here. We got 2-by-2, 2 tight ends hipped off on the bottom left. It's kind of an inverted wing look. Under center, my favorite. Has that jet sweep action. Coming down. And this is an outside zone play. I'll switch to the backside so you can kind of see what's happening here and why I bring these plays up. And this is what I think the Cleveland Browns did a really good job of, just in general, when you look at a lot of our early outside zone looks, okay? So you can't see it on the screen here, but just outside of the screen, we've got basically we're going to have to go block here, and then there's a guy out here. I mean, we got these are
bad angles. And there's really no way to rectify it because I think the safety is on the line of scrimmage. It's not you can bring a guy down and crack. It's just that, for a true outside zone play, not a toss crack, there's no answers here. So this is a play where you either got to get out of it, you got to go, there's got to be a can to the other side, you got to have some sort of pass, but just the idea of running this play. So when you're looking at a play like this into the teeth of that defense, this is back in the day. We would go to Sherm and say, hey, listen, like we literally can't block this. You're asking us to do something that's not going to happen. And what's going to happen is Amon is going to, have a tackle for loss or possibly not get back to the line of scrimmage or whatever. And you see Sean Ryan is trying to get off the ball, but this guy's slanting in. Jenkins is having to run kind of sideways. And, Josh Jacobs is a phenomenal runner, so he ends up getting yards, but you just look like everybody has a tough angle. I mean, look at what we're asking Aaron Banks to do is really a slanting 2-eye. He does a pretty damn good job of getting over there and really blunting this and then trying to take over. Now we can just keep on our track. One thing that is kind of interesting about every offensive lineman wants to do this, but right at this moment, Aaron Banks is kind of going the way he wants. And you'll see very shortly thereafter, he tries to turn back. And as soon as you turn back here, this guy is able to go over the top and now get back in on the play. And it's one of those things where you always want to do it, and then you watch and you go, I shouldn't have done it. 1st and 10. We got this is really just kind of a bunch look here with that tight end. They go motion back, under center play action. And I show this play to show you that, they just don't have a lot of answers aside from these checkdowns. The other reason I showed you this play, and I'll show you from the end zone because it's phenomenal. They go motion here. Let's see if we can see it. Come across, and then 86, our guy right here, he's going, I guess I was supposed to cut him? Like, what are we doing right here? He came around and then down and tried to throw on Garrett. It's like they forgot the play for a second. And they've got, of course, they got Tucker Kraft coming back this way too for the double. So there's a bunch of different ways of trying to get him. They finally figured we'll try to cut the guy, but it's going to be technically, if you cut him like this, that's a penalty. Luckily, I guess he missed him. The things you got to do for special players in this league as far as accounting for them is absolutely ridiculous. 3rd and 4. This play's cut off a little bit. The only thing I want to show you here is this is another sack, but you don't see a lot as far as we take this back here, and you pause it, and you go, the only thing you feel good about really is here. We bet on that, let the ball go. The problem is if you look at the pocket, he's under an immense amount of pressure right now. And this is the name of the game. There was a couple plays, particularly on the quarter side when they were playing their quarter half stuff. The quarter side, they just had no time to throw the football on some of these where he could have really stepped into. So why does this one happen? Okay, so why does this happen? So we got eyes here, obviously blocking out, here, probably chipping, right? Back's looking on this side. We got eyes here from Aaron Banks, though, and he just bails. Right here, his head turns, and I'm sure what he's thinking is like, all right, the guy didn't come immediately. I got to help out the left tackle, who you can just see by the body position here, not exactly what you want, right? You're catching a little bit. So he turns his head, and we just got a free rusher now for the sack. The other thing is Jordan Morgan has help here. He's got a bang out. Or at least let's call it a body presence by Tucker Kraft. And this is the problem when we just, you talk about you're developing a young player and the kind of the body position, the hands, the helmets against the shoulder pad. Like, this is just, for me, this is a function of a young player having to play multiple positions in the same game. I've had to do it. It's like, and it's not as easy as, listen, it's not the same as a pitcher throwing with his offhand or a soccer player playing with his off foot. Like, it's not that much of a skill, right? But it doesn't transfer one-to-one. And just doing, like, you have to do thousands of reps to be good at this stuff. So just the idea that, let's say you got an extra 5 reps in practice at right tackle this week, so you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go. There's so much that goes into this. It's not just the technique. The technique's the most important thing, but it's also then, like, I got to win my 1v1 matchup. Do I know what 91's good at? Like, for example, when he lines up here, is Jordan Morgan thinking, is he thinking about, like, okay, what is 91's best move out of this? Or is he thinking, like, dear God, am I in my right-hand stance? Remember how to, like, kick out. Like, do I have my plan and my game plan against how I'm going to go against this guy? Or, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff is, kind of the things that we lose here when we talk about how difficult it is to move positions, particularly within one game. Under center, play action. These guys got it completely pegged here on the back end. They've just got a 4-deep shell. They are so deep at the safety position, they're kind of able to break and feel pretty good about getting hooked up there. And the result is, of course, look at the pocket again. And this is the one that I think really hurt, because this is the one where, the right tackle has a chip out. We're going to just look over here, and then we're gonna bang out here, and then we got man on, we got man on, we got man on, and there's a bunch of stuff going over here because of 95, right? So this is the one that kind of gets your quarterback hurt, because now when we're beat. Now when you look at that, he's got a 5-yard head start. So he's beat, and now it's a full speed. And these are the kind of shots that take a quarterback out of the game. And it's obviously unfortunate. There's a couple things going on here, and I'm always confused when I see a player angle set. Now, a lot of coaches will tell you, hey, we'd love to angle set, and here's why, and you're cutting the space, and blah, blah, blah. But, like, the bottom line is, this guy's faster than you. He's a better athlete, and time is on your side. I'd love for, if I'm this offensive tackle, like, I'd love for that guy to bull rush me, 70 plays during this game, because he weighs 270 pounds, I weigh 310. Let me just get to my spot, sit on all your BS, and then kind of force you into this, what we call a read bull, which is kind of like a half-ass bull rush where they're kind of reading where the quarterback is. But instead, we get out there and we lunge, take the shot, and then get the quarterback banged up pretty good. All right, another little bunch look here. Motion back across with Dobbs. This is I think a clear passing situation. We'll go back and look at the concepts we're trying to get here. They're going to get that speed out with Dobbs again, and they switch it. So they're going to actually run more of a chair here. They're running too deep on that side. Do they have anything that you feel good about early on? And the unfortunate answer is no. And this is kind of the consequence of the Cleveland Browns feeling good about playing some sticky coverages, because they think they're it's been proven so far that their rush can get to the quarterback.
Hey friends, it's time to start getting our sleeper picks in for week 4. Vikings, Steelers, our first international game of the year. I think this one's going to be a defensive struggle, so I'm going to be going fewer on a lot of these categories, including Aaron Rodgers, fewer than 202.5 passing yards. I think this Vikings defense is going to be all over Aaron Rodgers, and I think passing the football is going to be extremely difficult in this game. Meanwhile, Jordan Mason, less than 79.5 rushing yards. To me, this Steelers defense is going to make Carson Wentz beat them and make sure that Jordan Mason is not getting the requisite yardage to need to get a win internationally. So I'm going Jordan Mason, fewer than 79.5 rushing yards. And last but not least, Justin Jefferson, more than 5.5 receptions. This is the one that I'm making an exception on for what I believe is going to be a defensive struggle. I think Minnesota is going to feed Justin Jefferson, get him involved early and often, and make him the star of that Sunday morning international game. Just to recap, Aaron Rodgers, fewer than 202.5 passing yards, Jordan Mason, fewer than 79.5 rushing yards, and Justin Jefferson, more than 5.5 receptions. Make sure to get your picks in over on Sleeper. You can get a 100% match up to $100 by using code PACKADAY. Again, a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Make sure to use that code. Check it out over on Sleeper. And make sure that you understand that terms and conditions can apply. So check out those terms and conditions over on Sleeper. It is available in over 25 states. So what are you waiting for? Get after it right now.
I really like this kid 94, Mason Graham. Looks really, really good football player. Here, they just run a little game. And, you know, look, it's tough because you see Jenkins actually has, like, he's kind of looking over here. And, you know, Jordan Morgan is playing a new position again. And you got, you've committed 1, 2, 3 resources to block this guy. But it's not like these guys suck. Right? These guys are all good football players. And this is, you know, when you have to hyper focus on the best, my opinion, the best defensive player in football, when you commit that many resources to it, then it's like, okay, what are the rest of these guys are trying to emulate him. So they're probably just doing some sort of base protection to 49, the Mike, and they're going to have to pick up the game, et cetera, et cetera. They've got 2 guys that are young that are playing somewhat out of position in Jordan Morgan and Belton. And so, you know, the inevitable problem here is you have eyes here and you have eyes here, or maybe he's going here, I'm not sure. But there's not a lot of attention being played really to the guy that they're playing against. We don't take enough on the penetrator and take enough off on the penetrator and you get another sack. Oh, we got second and short here. That's the second and short or second and 13. I just like this play. I put it in. We want to see some wins. Like the big guys getting downfield. Good job by Jordan Morgan there. Getting downfield, making a play. Just love it. All right, we got first and 10. We got that 2 tight end look in with the 12 personnel. We like going kind of, we call this classy. It's kind of difference between classy and nasty. But it's that tight split up top. And this is where sometimes, you know, these new offenses get a little bit cute, right? I'm saying that to say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an overhang player out here that we can get with our slot guy. If not, we got to push it. You see, we go through this play, and look, I love what Sean Ryan's doing with his feet here. You see, Elton James is a little bit, and this is kind of talking about the center footwork. He gets a little bit high. You just see the body level difference in those 2 players and what that's going to mean for torque. Watch Jordan Morgan's footwork. Jordan Morgan's footwork's pretty good, except he's going where? He's going He's going laterally with that second step instead of vertically, so we're not trying to actually, we want to get that guy off the spot. We want to get him vertical. But I think we're doing that in large part because we're pushing all the way out here, which just makes the angles more difficult. So again, I'll show you guys for reference. So we're bringing in a slot over here in Dobbs to block 17. It looks like he can get it now, but we have to make a decision kind of pre-game or on the sideline. Like we're going to go ahead and push this thing all the way over. We're going to count him in the box because he's playing as an overhang where he can be either or. They don't want him to jump in the box last minute because we didn't make that call. So them having to push this now takes that vertical push and kind of takes it off because you see Jordan Morgan's already off on 49 and Sean Ryan and Jenkins a little bit high. So Sean Ryan's got good body position and he's got a good shoulder on there, but he's feeling like he has to come off here pretty soon as well. So these are the kind of plays where defenses can put you in a bad situation. And then obviously on the backside, you got your tight end who's got to get all the way to their Mike linebacker and just kind of push him into the play as well. A little trips look here. Tight end attached up top. You know, something that Sean Ryan's doing really well, and just want to highlight it, is I really like his footwork. You see he's trying to stay square to the line of scrimmage. He's trying to keep that inside hand free. And he's really striking low to high. He's getting that second step vertical, which we just saw. You kind of see over here with Jordan Morgan. He's doing kind of the exact opposite, right? It almost looks like a short set pass pro. And that's why you don't have any. I mean, this is the difference between. Oh, come on, Mike. This is the difference here. You look at just body position on contact, and you got one guy coming into the guy low to high, and then you got another guy kind of going straight up. And so this guy is able to kind of stop him at the line of scrimmage, where we really got to fight this. I love the way that Sean Ryan's playing these particular blocks. I think his footwork's really good and something to build on. And so that's why you get these, you know, as a double team player, getting the weeds a little bit here, as a double team player, you're just really considering yourself kind of the bumper here. You want to set the edge, and you want to go north and south, and you want this guy to come in and really just kind of be the horsepower. And that allows us with, I think, our third tackle of the game, because we had the helmet problem over Rashid, to come in here and just push this guy and kind of get some movement out of the way, even though he doesn't look good. He's a great body position there, right? Anyways, excellent job. Got to celebrate the little things. See from this angle, it's really good. Really good job. Growth potential. 3rd and 3. Okay, love the keeper. Under center stuff, you got to love it. Like, you know, this is an interesting call because, like, do the Browns really think they're running the ball here on 3rd and 3? Probably not. But they got to respect it. And then we get the leak late. I love, you know, especially in a game like this, just talking ball, you know, obviously you're almost a little bit surprised that the backside doesn't stay in this and is chasing that football. You think the backside D end here would be chasing Love. So that's a little bit surprising, but hey, happy to do it. Their big thing was stopping the run the entire game. They did a hell of a job of that. All right, 1 or 2 more. We got trips. We got a tight end down on the bottom here, but not an attached player. And just a free rush. This is the one that just kind of sealed the deal. It's like, we're not on the same page here, guys. So obviously takes the sack. I think Jordan Morgan gets beat early here. And I'll talk about the pass pro here in a minute, but just kind of watch. You know, you remember, everybody probably remembers the Aaron Rodgers, we used to do the scramble drill. So he's scrambling now. And if we look across the board, we got down, he's coming here, he's coming in, we got one across, and then we got a man standing, right? Because they think he's in the pocket, right? We're just not casting any blame here. This is just what's going on. Now, there's kind of some different rules, right? Some of the rules are if you're deep, you come back. If you're out, you go in. If you're short, you go deep, and then you come across and go to his field of vision. You come in across to his field of vision, or maybe here. And that's like, in theory, that's kind of what's supposed to happen. But really, nobody uncovers for him. You just kind of look at this play at the end. And you look at the top of the screen, top left, like, he's nothing. Got going the wrong direction, you know, on the basic or the dig. The shallow's going across, but he's not really burning to get over there. We're just kind of watching, right? It looks just kind of like, what are we doing now? All right, so they're running 2, and look, very rarely, like, you got to have some kind of wheels on. It looks like they're running 2, so to be able to inside release and then have the speed to come back before this corner goes, right? Now they could be running a different variation that maybe I'm wrong, and they're not, you know, this DB's not getting it doesn't look like he's getting as wide, so maybe I'm wrong there. But, you know, obviously you got to have some elite speed here, because that corner is definitely playing off. So maybe that safety makes the mistake, but is just not anticipating the speed from Matthew Golden. That's phenomenal. 3rd and 3. I lied. We're going to do one more. Okay, we're going to end on a bad one, I guess. Look, here we talked about this a bit on Anna Herman show. And so you guys see it from our perspective, or my perspective. You're running the slant here. You're going to go up and then here. And then maybe this is more like a smash or something, right? But regardless, the problem is that you have what we call a conflict player. And you have to figure out who your conflict player is. So if your conflict player is this player, if he sticks with this man, then in theory, you should have, if he sticks here, then that means we expect to win here. And if he doesn't win, then we expect to win here. Okay, but when there's this amount of spacing, the conflict player can really attack two guys without ever moving. He can just wait and see where the arm goes and break on it. And so, this isn't like, look, they've obviously run this play successfully many a time. It just sometimes it depends on the defense that you're in. But in this particular situation, it's very unfortunate because they had the right defense called where that conflict player feels like he doesn't have to move his feet off the hash in order to make the right decision. And then, obviously when that happens, bad things, bad things, bad things. Listen, I love Jordan Morgan's enthusiasm here, or Jordan Love, but oh my Lord, we got to learn how to tackle a little bit. Like, just go low. You kind of went. That was tough.